watching the consistency with which, he and Clay shot the ball, the consistency in which, KD worked just all the time on his game. And then, watching how simple they make the stuff look, just how basic KD's game is when you really think about it. And that's, elite players are elite because they do the fundamentals better than everybody else. It has nothing to do with the extra stuff and the fancy stuff. The elite players are the guys that are more fundamentally sound and can execute the fundamentals of the game at an extremely high level. So, for instance, like Clay and Steph, their footwork is never wrong coming off of screens. Like, it's never wrong. Like, even in like a high, late game, you gotta be absolutely perfect. They're like always perfect, like, always right, like always the right choice. Like they always shot fake at the right moment, like always step back at the right moment, always, up and under at the right moment. It's always the right, they always make the right choice, in other words. And it's because they've got the fundamentals down pat, so you watch a guy like KD and it's like, yeah, KD's hitting y'all with basic stuff now on ESPN and all these other things. The highlights make it look different. But
when you watch the full thing,
right? Simple stuff.
Dribble, pull up,
right.
post up.
Simple.
That's
right. Simple. So that's what separates them, right? And just the consistency in which they do the work, and the other thing I think that gives them an advantage more so than other folks is, as big of a star as KD is, or as big of a star as Steph is, they're not necessarily caught up in the lifestyle.
Yeah, they're super
very humble, down to earth, sort of, you can still relate to them, they can relate to you. And that's not typically, the case, with guys of their stature. In a lot of ways you say they've earned the right to sort of be who they want to be and how they want to be it. But as it relates to those guys, they're just unbelievably humble. As crazy as it sounds, driving themselves to practice every day, because there's some superstar guys that don't do that. They've got family and people around them, support systems, but you wouldn't necessarily, you don't see KD with 100 people. You don't see Steph with 100. You see Steph with his family. You see Steph with his, his brother, mom, dad, kids, wife. Same thing with KD, very small circles, and I think that's allowed for them to have, the level of success that they've experienced. And a lot of people may not realize it, but those are the things that give them the advantages, that they have while they're playing.